Hello, my name is Valentina, and this is my discussion. So, I believe the Alien Citizenship Act was unconstitutional. This act was created by John Adams, and why I believe the act is unconstitutional is because it sort of made it a crime for American citizens um, to speak to speak about, to print, to publish anything that was going out to the public about the government, and it was like false or scandalous, or that they thought had malicious intent. They would be sent to court. And like, if I wanted to excuse me, if I wanted to speak my mind on something that I thought was unjust or was not correct in the community, um, or like about the government, I would be sentenced, or I would go to court, speak to a judge, have a court hearing, I guess is what you call it, and the judge would judge if my motivations were, if I was motivated by ill intent, like if I was motivated, if I basically, if what I said was very, it slandered the government's name and it was just horrible, well, depending on the severity of it, I would be sentenced to a month, 2 years from prison. um the act kind of limited, or it really did limit the freedom of speech. um no one was really allowed to talk about their political values or their beliefs because of this act. So it really suppressed everyone's freedom of speech. um and also, it I'm sorry, it completely undermined and disregarded the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights. It completely contradicted each other. And also, they really targeted the Democratic Republicans because of how outspoken and how they were against the Federalists. So it really made it a lot more difficult for them to speak up because of how contradicting their beliefs were. Um, the Democratic Republicans opposed the Federalists because they wanted to ratify the Constitution to protect the civil rights of Americans, because they believed that the Democratic Republicans believed that the Federalists, or the national government, had too much power, and it needed to balance out with the federal government. But the Federalists lived in fear because they thought that a war would lead up to this, and they kind of believed that the foreigners would sympathize with the French, and kind of they would it would be a complete destruction. So essentially, their values really did not align. So that's why there was a lot of like not bumping heads, but like kind of in that aspect. So yeah, that's my discussion.